me introduce you today to our Moving Forward special Christmas offering. You're going to be hearing a lot about this over the next couple of months. So we're going to do our Christmas offering a little different this year, okay? Rather than just taking 1 month and having one initiative, we're going to take a longer period of time, and we're going to tackle 5 initiatives, okay? So I'm really excited to tell you about these today, but let me just give you up top before I jump into the initiatives. This is a special offering between now and January 31st. So you're going to be hearing a lot about this. Today's goal is just to give you a quick overview, but over the next few weeks, we'll have some videos to share. We'll have some stories to share. You're going to see some really cool things kind of in story format, but today I just want to give you the highlights, okay? So this is a special offering during the Christmas season. It's going to 5 initiatives. The first initiative is a new local ministry partner called Mercy House. Mercy House is in the Washington Park neighborhood of West Montgomery. It's a ministry that's existed for 15 years, birthed out of the local church. The ministry is literally across the street from the church, functions there in a little house. Hardy and I went down there about a month ago and spent some time. They have a food pantry. They have a place where people can do their laundry. They have educational programs for kids. They've got a computer center for life skills for adults. They've got a small library where they're trying to help kids learn how to read. And if I can just be honest with you, the time that we spent down there, it messed with me a little bit. It just messed with me a little bit. I mean, the street that we were on, most of the folks who lived on that street, they don't even have utilities. They don't even have running water. And in many ways, I felt like I was on a mission trip overseas, but I was here in Montgomery. And when you see needs that great, what you need is a great vision, and Mercy House is providing that. But they need help. They need churches to partner with them. And so I consider it a high privilege for us to get to partner with them. We don't want to go into a neighborhood and go, okay, we're here. The hope has arrived. Woo, Bond Force is here. No, that's not. We want to go with someone who already has established trust, someone who has immersed themselves in the community and say, hey, how can we serve you? How can we help you in what you're accomplishing? One of the things they're looking to do is have churches purchase some of these houses and do a total remodel on the house, and then they've already done this. This is not new, but they need more houses. Families can then live in these houses for a 12-month intensive discipleship process. It's incredible what they're doing. So I'm excited that we're getting to partner with them. And during the year, we're going to give you some information, make some announcements about particular service projects or service days. And so we'll get to be a part of this beyond just giving financial resources as well, but really excited to have a new local ministry partner. The second initiative is a new global ministry partner. This ministry is called Children's Hope. Children's Hope is focused on ministering in Haiti. They have an orphanage in Haiti that right now has 51 kids in the orphanage. Not only that, they have 7 Christian schools. That's incredible that they're running. So these kids that come to school, they receive a Christ-like education, a Christ-centered education. They're also being fed. For many of those kids, that's the only time that they're able to eat during the day. They have medical clinics as well. And they also have a program where they send out pastors. This got me fired up. Over the last year, they've sent 10 pastors. These are Haitian nationals who've gone through this training, and they're now pastoring churches in their own country. And here's what's exciting. This global partner is based here locally. They're out of Montgomery, Alabama. And so what's fun for us as a church, and we've learned this, is that when your global partners have a local presence, it improves everything. We've experienced this with Trek. Many of you guys know Trek International, led by Jeff McFarland, one of our own. Jeff's one of our members. Jeff does ministry in Nepal. Jeff does ministry in Cuba. He's done ministry in a number of different places. Some of you have been with Jeff to go to those places. But when you've got a global partner who you're also locally connected to, it just makes everything go smoother. I mean, we saw this about 8 weeks ago. Mudslide in Nepal, it destroyed 30 houses. We're able to raise money on the spot. Those houses are being rebuilt. We showed some pictures of that a couple of weeks ago. Well, how are we able to do that so quickly? Because of Jeff. He's got a ministry presence there, and we know him here. So we're looking forward to having the same type of relationship with Children's Hope. And now we've got Jeff, and we're in Nepal, Cuba, Haiti. We want to continue to have a global focus. And so hopefully in 2021, we can start sending teams. We don't know. There's still restrictions that are in place, and we've got to figure all of that out. But as those opportunities arise, we're certainly going to let you know about them as a church. But that's the second ministry initiative. The third ministry initiative is benevolence for our own Vaughn Forest family. So I am guessing in 2021, we're going to still face a little bit of uncertainty, okay? People are going to face uncertainty with employment, with careers. And we want to be ready before we have to be ready. So it wouldn't surprise me if in 2021 we get more requests than usual for utilities, unexpected medical expense, rent, mortgage. We want to be a blessing to those who call Vaughn Forest home. So if you think about this, we want to make a difference here in our local community. So we've got a new ministry partner. We want to continue to have a global focus, new global partner. But we also feel like part of the calling of the church are all the one another passages, that we're supposed to bear one another's burdens. And from time to time, bearing one another's burdens means helping out with a utility bill. So we want to make sure that as a church, we're ready when it comes to benevolence. The fourth ministry initiative is to continue to finish out and improve our next generation ministry space. So parents, those of you who check your kids in, teenagers, you guys go get checked in on your own. You run the little stickers and it's secure. You can't go back in those double doors unless you've gone through that check-in process. So if you don't go back there, you may not think about this often, but it's a 3-story building. We have a 3-story building on our campus. That's an incredible blessing that ministers to the next generation. And earlier this year, when we were shut down from meeting here on campus, so I'm talking about April, May, June, we began to make some changes and some facility upgrades in that space. We didn't know when we'd be able to have kids and teenagers on campus again, but we wanted to be ready. And so, for example, our elementary school students, the way that this ministry used to function is they all got in a large group space, worshiped together, did some fun games together, and then dispersed into smaller classrooms. We knew that wasn't going to be possible, so we had to go into all those classrooms, upgrade the technology, upgrade the activities, get kind of COVID compliant. And right now at 9:30 and 11, that's how the elementary ministry functions. Amazing volunteers are making this happen every week, but that large group room is still sitting empty. I don't know when we'll get to use it again, but the good news for us is our kids are getting to be discipled in a safe way. And by God's grace, we've been able to serve a lot of families and a lot of kids since we brought back our children's ministry. The third floor, we went in and it just needed a total kind of remodel. It was a little outdated, and we went through and did that and gave that to our student ministry. And our student ministry has kind of been the nomadic ministry on campus. They were kind of meeting in a number of different places, and now they have their own space. And you guys see them in here at 11 o'clock, but at the 9:30 hour, they're upstairs, and they're doing small group discipleship groups. They're hearing the teaching of God's word. They're worshiping together. They're building friendships, which are so important in this season of life. And we've done a number of other things. We upgraded the filtration system so the air that we breathe would, kill off bacteria and viruses. And all of those things have been paid for, but quite simply, there's just a few items left on our punch list. So a few things we need to finish for you guys on the third floor when it comes to audio and visual and lighting and a few other COVID compliant steps we want to take. We don't want to just be compliant. We want to go above and beyond. And so, again, that's why we've included this initiative in this special offering. It'll give us the opportunity to address those. And finally, the last initiative for this special offering is to improve and continue to expand our online presence as a church. Man, we learned that this year, the importance of an online presence as a church. And we're so grateful that so many of you continue to join us online each week. And here's the thing, whether we're worshiping on campus or worshiping online, we're unified as one church family. And I'm so proud of our production team. I mean, they went all out back when we could only do online only. And we learned a lot. And now that we're doing both, we're continuing to learn a lot. But we all feel we're just scratching the surface. The potential for our reach as a church when it comes to evangelism, the potential for how we can disciple people in new and innovative ways, the potential for how we can connect people together who may not be in a place where they can come join us, like some of you are here with us on our campus today. And we're already aware of what's happening. I mean, this year has given us some insight into some things. I mean, we've got a good online presence here locally. Many who call Vaughn Forest home are here joining us. They're also sharing it through social media outlets, and so we're able to connect their friends here locally. But then we've also got people joining us from different places. We know people join us every week from Georgia, Colorado, New York, Florida. And if you're joining us today from another state I just didn't mention, let us know, and we'll give you a shout out too. We also have some people who join us from Canada each week. Now, we found this out in a really cool way. Back like 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, all the weeks are kind of running together in this year. Chuck Latham, who does a number of fantastic things here in Montgomery, partners with a lot of different churches, and he, obviously Vaughn Forest Home Church teaches one of our adult life groups. He came to us and said, the prisons are in need of some hygiene kits. We're not able to do prison ministry like we typically could, but if we could provide some hygiene kits, man, that'd be a big blessing. And we said, well, let us know what we need to send. And Chuck got us the Amazon link Like if you purchase this one, that'll be great. So we put that as a next step on the connection card back in the summer. And many of you marked that. We sent you the link. You purchased it through Amazon. They got mailed to our church. And that's been going on now for a few months. And sometimes there's so many things going on that I don't keep track of everything that's going on. So this morning, before I was going to teach, I was like, I need to find out, since I'm going to mention this, how many of those did we end up giving? I was blown away. PJ let us know this morning. Thanks, PJ. 600. Like our church sent 600 hygiene kits to the prison. Like that's incredible, right? So I think that's worth celebrating. That's amazing. I'm so proud of our church. Well, what happened is we got a delivery of 96 of those that somebody had ordered from Canada. We're like, what? Somebody from Canada purchased 96 hygiene kits on behalf of our church. And so we started figuring it out, and come to find out, it was a lady. She watches every week from Canada. She first got connected to our church years ago through Scott Weatherford. Many of you know Scott pastored here, and Scott came from Canada, so she kind of had but she just recently reconnected with us back in March. Anyway, on this particular Sunday, when I'm mentioning this, her adult daughter is watching it with her, and her adult daughter had actually recently just gotten out of prison. And she said to her Mom, that's a real need. We need to jump in. And they went above and beyond and blessed our church and blessed so many others through their generosity. I mean, that's just one little story of life change that's happening beyond our immediate reach. And so we don't really know. I'm just being honest with you. When I say online presence, you're like, specifically, what's that look like? I don't know. You tell me. Like, we just want to be with God. And if God is expanding our reach as a church, we want to go with him, all right? So that's a lot. I mean, that's 5 ministry initiatives that we want to tackle in 2021, and we believe the goal that God has called us to for this offering is $100,000, okay? So bottom line, between now and January 31st, I'm challenging our church to sacrificially give above and beyond our regular tithes and offerings to reach a goal of $100,000 that will go specifically to these 5 ministry initiatives in 2021. And here's the thing. There's not like a pressing reason for us to do this. I mean, truthfully, our finances are in an amazing place, which is a testimony to all of you who call Vaughn Forest home. In a year where most churches are struggling to make budget, our giving has outpaced our expenditures in an unbelievable way. And I can say with full confidence, I'm not bragging, I'm just being straight with you, okay, as your pastor. I don't want anybody ever guess what's going on. Just to shoot you straight, we've never been doing better as a church when it comes to our finances. And it would be really easy to just ride that out. It's almost the end of the year. Man, we've already brought in so much money, God's blessing. Let's just kind of coast through the end of the year. But I don't think that's what God would have us to do. I think when you go through a year like we've been through, if you don't intentionally propel yourself forward, you'll start to lull. So we're going to move forward, okay? I mean, it's still in the middle of this pandemic. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. That's okay. We get to keep moving forward, and we're going to move forward. We're going to take new ground. And we're going to move forward, not holding up the banner of Vaughn Forest. We're going to move forward holding up the banner of Jesus. And it's going to take all of us giving to make this happen. $100,000, that's a lot of money. So here's the thing. It's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice. Everybody hear that? There's some of you in our church, you could give $1,000 and you wouldn't even miss it. It's not a sacrifice. There's some of you in our church, if you gave $100, it would hurt. It'd be a sacrifice. Our kids next Sunday, they're going to get piggy banks with these 5 initiatives. So when they bring them home, parents, grandparents, you start challenging them. Teenagers, I'm challenging you. This is taking all of us being a part of this. You're like, man, I don't have extra money sitting around to give to an offering. I totally get it. Here's my challenge for you today. Pray. Just pray. Tonight, after we put our kids to bed, Morgan and I will sit at our dining room table and we will pray specifically about this. It won't be the first time we've prayed about it, but we're kind of now officially getting into this season. And we're asking the Lord, what do you want us to give that's going to stretch our faith? What do you want us to give that's going to be a sacrifice? And listen, that might mean that we have to cut out some things during the month of December. It might mean that and I've already made this decision. Sam, we haven't told your brothers this yet, so we'll talk to them about this after the service. My oldest son is down here. But we're going to sit down with our kids. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just trying to get some things rolling in your mind. And we're going to tell our kids, hey, this year everybody gets one less Christmas gift. And they'll be fine. They'll still get more Christmas gift than most kids that live on the planet. And we're going to explain to them that we're going to take that money and we're going to use it as a part of this special offering for some orphans who live in Haiti that hopefully in the next 12 to 18 months, they can go with me when I go down there to see them. I think you guys will be okay with that, right? And so you can do the same types of things. You don't always have to just have money setting aside. You can begin to find the money that, again, there's nothing wrong with spending money in other ways. But what did Jesus say? If you store it for yourselves, treasures in heaven. So you're going to be hearing a lot about this over the next 8 weeks. I wanted just to introduce you to it today. So